When you think of the greatest empire to ever exist, what's the first one that comes to mind? That's right, the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire was one of the four gunpowder empires, led by none other than Suleiman the Magnificent. He guided his empire to victory before passing on his title in 1566. But who is this dude that led this empire? Suleiman the Magnificent was the son of Sultan Selim I. Born in Trabzon in November 1494, he grew up and succeeded to be a sultan at just 26 years old. This empire he led had very interesting architecture, art, and technological advances. They built things like mosques, mausoleums, and madrasas, along with their kuleya and tekke. These buildings were inspired by Anatolia and Christian art and architecture. They also decorated their buildings with colored ceramics and invented multiple surgical tools we still use today, such as scalpels, forceps, and catheters. But what was work like in that empire? The Ottoman Empire started with slavery, but then abolished it for a new class, the working class, which is pretty much just giving them a less crappy title, even though they were still treated like dookie. This class ranged from all ages, old to young, who worked from sunrise to sunset, usually as farmers or artisans. The Ottoman Empire had four social classes or ranks: men of the pen, which are scholars; men of the sword, warriors; men of negotiation, merchants; and men of husbandry, farmers and artisans, with scholars being at the top and farmers at the bottom. The empire also had a centralized government, which was led by the Sultan. This centralized government controlled their lands, taxes, military, laws, and businesses. But regardless of what class you were born into, or the political title you held, you could still freely practice any religion you'd like. While Islam was the main religion in the empire, other runner-ups included Christianity, Judaism, and other small religions, while other empires were, well, not the most tolerant. So what else did this empire accomplish? This empire conquered most of Europe to the gates of Vienna, including present-day Hungary, Balkan, Greece, parts of Ukraine, Iraq, Syria, Israel, Egypt, North Africa, Algeria, and the Arabian. Having all this territory conquered gave them a lot of resources to trade for, and with trade-worthy goods come trade routes. The trade routes they used were the Red Sea and the Gulf. Items they mainly traded were silk, fur, tobacco, cotton, and spices. While it is pretty cool to rule an empire and have all this unlimited power in the palm of your hand, there are some pros and cons every now and then. Some pros about this empire were that it had regional stability, and its leader accepted new military technology rather than sticking to the old sticks and rocks. The military now uses a tool called gunpowder, something we Americans know by heart. While on the topic of pros, their leader had some pros as well. For example, Suleiman was the only leader of the Ottoman Empire that pushed it to its absolute limit. He also issued laws that harmonized the social life within the empire. On top of all that, he was also really intelligent. With said intelligence, he also made notable improvements in most fields of art and architecture, all the while keeping cultural traditions consistent within his empire. Why can't we have a leader like that? But with pros come cons. With all this new military technology, the empire started to grow debt from these wars they held, and the Sultan leading them soon started to drift away from the government he created. And Suleiman had some weaknesses too. He failed to win in several key battles. He left a dubious legacy, and he didn't work his way to the top. He cheated off of others' work to get to where he was. But would we consider him as a good leader? I personally think so. Sure, he cheated his way to the top and didn't work for his title like how people usually do, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. And so he did. Even though he didn't work his way to the top, he was still a great military leader. Yeah, he lost several key battles, but hey, sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. And with all the battles he did win, he gained a territory in Europe, Africa, and Asia. Even after having all this extra land, he still maintained a successful and stable territory in his empire. So what was Suleiman's empire like compared to others? With Tokugawa Japan, they both had a centralized bureaucracy, but had different ways of keeping order in their empire. The Ottoman Empire was very tolerant when it came to religion and made all types of religion to be freely practiced, something the Qing dynasty also did. However, unlike the Qing dynasty, while the Ottoman Empire territory broke down and split after their collapse, most of Qing dynasty's territory stayed intact after their collapse. And lastly, Suleiman's empire was known for its contributions to pottery and art, just like the Ming dynasty. But when it came to the political system, the Ming dynasty assessed those running for political titles through exams, testing their mental capacity, while the Ottoman Empire's government hand-selected new recruits. And that is all about the Ottoman Empire.